if they want to use something different, is this?
I told them to use that.
Perfect. Then
just to make it easy.
Okay, that makes life easier. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks, Diane. All right. Good morning, everybody. We are going to go ahead and get started. We are so grateful to have so many wonderful faces. We're grateful for the wonderful enthusiasm in the room. I love the summer beach theme that we have here. It makes it feel so, well, summery. So enjoy your 106-degree weather and throw around your beach balloon balls, and please have a wonderful time with us today. We're glad you were willing to risk the heat and come on out for us before it got too toasty today. But we are so grateful to have all of you guys here. Let me introduce myself. I am Amy Badger. I am with 12 Doors Real Estate, and our founder, Joyce Fritz, is also the founder of the Older Adult Collaborative of Stanislaus here in this area. She is home. She is sick, and Serpa, who helps us here at Community, she also is home. We know COVID's going around and lots of other things. I don't know how it's surviving in this weather, but somehow it is. So people are dealing with some of those challenges right now, but we are grateful for all of you who are able to join us today. We just wanted to just remind you that as the OACS group, that our mission here is to proactively serve and to educate each other in pursuit of synergistic solutions for seniors and for their adult children, that our vision is to create a unified senior resource team to support each other and the community that we serve, and our values are integrity, synergy, service, and collaboration. And we are so grateful for all of you guys who help make that happen here as we get together. Our goal is to someday outgrow this room, because we have so many people who are here with us, that people from the general public who want to hear about this information, those who are in the industry and want to share it with those that they serve. But our desire is to make sure that all of this great information that gets presented here flows out to the general public, and that they know that this is a resource that they can turn to when they want to know what is here in our county in this area that can help serve them. We wanted to remind you that on your table, there are flyers that you can take with you to share about next month's meeting. So those get printed out to you guys as a resource to be able to grab one, take it home. Make sure that you mark your calendars for next month's meeting. As always, it's the second Thursday of the month, so it'll be September 12th next month. I'd love for you guys to make sure and share that information with people, your families, friends, those that you work with, so that they know about this great opportunity to gather here. If you didn't get an opportunity to put your business card in the basket as you were coming in, I think it's still actually sitting on the table, so we'll go grab that and make sure that you have the opportunity. We'll have a raffle after we do our presentation, but just make sure everybody had an opportunity to get their business card in there. Also, a reminder on your flyers, there is a QR code there at the bottom so that you can join us and be part of our Facebook group. Stay in contact to know what kind of things are going on. You can just scan that right there, share that as well. We currently are up at 443 members in our Facebook group, up 7 from last month, and we are hoping to hit 500 by the end of the year. So let people know this is a great resource that they can go ahead and use. Is there anybody who is new here for the first time, who has never been here with us at our meetings today? We got all regulars, people who know what they're doing. That's great. It's a little hot to try something new. I get it. We will go ahead and just wanted to give the opportunity, if anybody has any upcoming events or things that are going on that they would like to be able to share with everybody, to let them know. All right. Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Serena with Community Hospice. I'm the tenant hospital liaison. We have a couple of events. Serpa usually does this, but she is not feeling well. So we are going to go ahead and talk about the Hops and Vines event. It's August 17th. It is a fundraiser that we do. It's an event, very fun here. It's $65 a ticket, Saturday afternoon on August 17th. And there's going to be, I think, some beer trucks, wine, food trucks. Should be kind of a fun event. I think there's cornhole, I think axe throwing. So it is a very fun event. So come and mingle. And hopefully it's not too hot. But but there's beer. So, and then we have a walk and roll, which is a fundraiser. It is a fun run, but it is benefiting our pediatric programs. And so that is actually Sunday, October 27th at 9 a.m. And so I'm going to have some little pamphlets up here for you to take if you're interested. Please check it out. Join the Hops and Vine event and the walk and roll.
Is there anybody else that had any other announcements that they wanted to share? All right. Oh, no, you're fine.
Good morning. I'm from Cozier Senior Living out in Turlock, and we're going to be having our car show on September 28th. So if a car show and an open house. So you guys are all welcome to come.
So much. All right. Anybody else have any other announcements you wanted to share? All right. Well, we will go ahead then and get going with our presentation. We are so grateful, right? Today, we have our host facility here, Community Hospice, that's going to be sharing with us today. They are one of the oldest and largest nonprofit community-based hospice programs here in the Central Valley. They have many programs and services that go beyond hospice care, offering palliative care, pediatric care, adult and children's bereavement services. Camp Wakini is their youth grief camp. They have hope counseling, outpatient mental health support, inpatient care at the Alexander Crone Hospice House, crisis response. They have their Hope Chest thrift stores and even more. So sometimes we don't even realize how many things are going on right here, right around us. We're going to be able to hear more about this. We're going to turn the time over to Lupe Perez. She is the Director of Bereavement and Volunteer Services here at Community Hospice and is going to be telling us more about what they do and how we can get involved with it.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here to share a little bit of what we do. So you heard of so many of all the different programs that we offer. Well, it really would be almost impossible for us to offer all of this without our amazing group of volunteers. Community Hospice and Health Services was started by 2 volunteer nurses. And so from the very beginning, we have seen the importance of having volunteers support not only our patients and families, but our staff and our community. And there are so many different ways for us to get involved. It really, when people ask me, well, how, I don't have that much time, well, it really doesn't take a whole lot of time. And we have volunteers that will volunteer every week, some once a month, every other week, and others will just help support some of our events like our walk and roll and our Hops event, where those events take a lot of manpower. And so we really utilize volunteers. But we have a lot of different volunteer opportunities. In addition to volunteers supporting our events with helping us with setup, with tear down, I think we have a cook who's going to come and help us cook at the Hops and Vines. We have people that are going to help serve wine, help with the axe throwing, just a lot of fun things that we're doing. We also have volunteers that visit with our patients and support our families. And people often think, well, I'm not a medical person. Well, it doesn't take a medical person. It takes someone with a big heart. And so if you have, one volunteer once told me he had time and love to give. And that's exactly the kind of person that we're looking for. So we have our volunteers that will visit with a patient and provide support to their family. Those volunteers are so critically important to our patients. We had a patient once who was in a facility. He said he had outlived his friends. His family, very little family, had a nephew who lived several hours away. So he really didn't have anybody, was quite lonely. We placed a younger volunteer with him, and the staff told us how much the days that the volunteer was going to go visit him, he woke up early, made sure he was dressed, ready to go, and was waiting for his volunteer to show up. And then the volunteer also said how meaningful that was to him because he cherished the time that he was there with that patient. So he was able to support him till the very end. Just a beautiful, beautiful story. We also have volunteers that help out here in the office. A lot of older adults like to feel useful and they want to be able to do something. And so they're able to come here in the office. They might call our patients just to see how they're doing, make sure that the caregivers know that they have support. They will help us with office work, maybe some copies or stuffing letters. When camp comes around, there's a lot of little arts and crafts that we have to do to prepare for camp. So they'll help with that. We also have volunteers that help our families after they've lost their loved one. Grief, when we're grieving, it can be very, very lonely. And so we have volunteers that will just kind of just be there to support that person through the first anniversary, the first birthday, the first everything without their person. And so it's nice to have someone that's just there with you. So we have volunteers that will do that. They will also help facilitate a grief support group. We know that grieving can be very lonely, so it's nice to have a community where you can go and grieve. And so our volunteers are able to help facilitate that. We also have our Alexander Cohen Hospice House, which is our 16-bed inpatient facility in Houston. We have volunteers that will go out and bake. So not only are they baking, but they're also donating what they're making. I had a patient family member once tell me, he said, I was so nervous about bringing my mom to the hospice house. But when I walked in, it smelled like cookies. And there were these two older ladies baking in the kitchen. And he thought, well, really, how bad could this place be? And so our bakers are out there, offering that, the smell of cookies, it makes you feel good and warm inside. And so our volunteers do that. We also have a piano out there. We have a volunteer who will go out and play the piano. We have others. I have a ukulele player and a guitar player who will go out and play and sing, which is, it gives the families an opportunity to maybe not be in the patient room because, they need a little break. So they're able to go out, sit there, listen to music, feel supported. But also for our patients, we have patients who, we're musicians. And so having someone come in and allowing them to, touch their guitar or just sing, listen to their favorite songs, it's very comforting. We have volunteers who have dogs who are therapy dogs, and they will go out and visit as well. We had one, he was our very first therapy dog who we've lost since, but he went out to visit a patient and family, and we had a young patient with some young children. So the dog was able to visit with the kids. A few days later, the dog happened to be there when our patient died. And so when the volunteer went up to the family, the daughter said, my dad just died. My brother is sitting on the couch. He was a teenage boy. He's sitting on the couch, not talking to anybody, and doesn't let anybody go near him. So our volunteer, the dog, seemed to know exactly what to do. He went up to the son and stood there. The son looked at the dog, threw his arms around him, and started crying because the dog was not going to tell him, nope, you can't cry. It wasn't embarrassing in front of the dog. So that dog was able to provide the much needed support that this teenage boy needed. Just, incredible, the love of an animal, what it does to us. And then, of course, we have our volunteers that visit with patients out there as well, just to be able to provide that support. And then for some people, they think, well, I could never do that. Well, we also have our Hope Chest thrift stores. Without the support that our thrift stores give us, we would not be able to hold Camp Wakini and some of our other programs that we offer, like the free grief support. So we have volunteers that will provide support to the staff at the thrift store. It's great for older adults because they get to talk to people. It keeps them active because some of our volunteers, what they love is keeping up like the book room. So it keeps them active. They keep everything in order, making sure that the books are attractive for people as they come in. And then they just help around the store, just helping wherever needed. So it's a great opportunity for them to get out and meet other people as well. And then, of course, as Erin, our camp director, comes up to talk about our Camp Wakini, we could not hold camp without our volunteers. It takes about 50 volunteers just to go to camp. Our volunteers will go and provide the support with the kids. They're the ones that are doing all the heavy work. They're getting to have a group of kids that they are providing support to. They sleep in their same cabin with them. They have their meals with them. They encourage them to talk about their person, and they do a lot of hugging and wiping of tears. And so these volunteers really are incredible. We also have 3 nurses who volunteer their time, as well as 3 counselors, and then everybody else is doing everything else as well. And so, but then we also have volunteers that help with the send-off. It takes a lot, it takes an army of people to get 100 kids on a bus in an hour. I mean, it is absolute chaos, but it takes really an army of people to be able to do that. And then on Sunday, when the children come home, it also takes another group of people to be able to welcome these kids home, get them checked out, get them connected with their adult person, and get them home safely. So really, we could not do this work without our volunteers. And we are just so grateful for our community that really provides a lot of support. And then, so Erin, our camp director for Camp Wakini, she will talk about camp. And we're going to show a little video.
Yeah, we're going to show a little video first, and then I'll go into talking about that. Let me turn on lights for just a second. So that's a little bit about our, just kind of a little visual of our Camp Wakini program. Camp Wakini We've been doing a youth grief camp for, we're going on our 12th year now. And we were formerly known as Camp Aaron of the Central Valley. And we partnered with the Luna Network for 10 years. And after that partnership ended, we decided to branch out on our own. So we came up with the name Camp Bikini. It is a native word that means the journey to hope and new beginnings. And that's really what it's about for us. So these kids, they come together and they bond. And I've seen a child that lost almost his entire family in a car accident, and just to come from just not even being able to make eye contact to the end, just sharing stories of his mom's enchiladas, and I just can't say enough good things about it. You don't think that this weekend camp will do what it does, and it really does. It just taking them out of their environment, bonding them with people that know what they are feeling, and it just really makes a big difference. So I'm sure I'm forgetting to say a lot of different things, but just know we're all very passionate about this camp. It's offered free of charge to all these kids. We never charge any of them for any of it. It costs us about a little over $1,200 per kid to take them up to Camp Sylvester in Pinecrest, is where we've been holding our camp. So yeah, that's, I think, anybody have any questions? Okay, so the question is, what would be the best way to share this information? So you can go on to our website, campwalkkinney.org, or Community Hospice and hospiceheart.org, and you can find our information on there. We try to focus on our community, but it's really the child's need. Sorry, the question was, do we just do Stanislaus County help support these kids? But we've had them as far as Sacramento kids that have come, as long as they can come to. There's a roundup that the kids come and meet each other before camp, and that's super important, because can you think about getting on a bus as a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old getting on a bus with just a bunch of strange faces? That's really hard, right? So we do this, it's called a roundup, a few weeks before, and allows them to, as long as they can come to all of those things, then yeah, we will take them wherever they go. So thank you. Yes, the ages that we take kids are ages 6 to 17. They need to, it's a recent loss, so maybe up to 3 years. Of course, that's a case-by-case basis. They also just need to have memories of their person. So, and it can be a friend, it can be a cousin, it can be a parent, any significant loss in their life. But 6 to 17, there was something else I wanted to say, but I've lost it. So sorry. Any more question? Yeah. So it was previous to me. I'm sure Lupe has more of the history on that. I'm the camp director. I've been the director. I've been involved in camp since 2016. So, but I'm not sure about, let me hand it over to Lupe.
So I've been here for a long time. I've been here for 22 years. And the reason we decided is because we have always provided grief support to children. We've had support groups in local schools. We offer groups, and we've always provided grief support. But there's something, when I first started, we did like a day camp just to bring all the kids together, and we saw the benefit of it. And there's just something really special to take these children. We thought, well, if we gather all these kids, take them away from their environment and really focus on their grief, and but also on fun things. And so we thought, well, we heard about this Luna program. The very first camp that I went to, I was a cabin buddy, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but it's really one of the best things that we do. And to see those kids together outside of a support groups are really good for them, but seeing them in this environment in nature, it's just a different experience for them. And I actually ran into the mom of one of our very first campers. And so this was like 11 years ago. So these kids, they're almost 30, which is really hard to believe. And she told me her daughter had lost her dad, and she said, camp saved my daughter. Her daughter had a lot of anger, resentment, and was going down the wrong path. And then after camp, she said she just had a different mentality. Also, the types of volunteers that we take. Volunteers are not there just to provide that grief support. They're there as mentors too. So we're always looking, especially for male volunteers, because some of these boys, they may not have a male role model, or their male role model is probably not someone they can really look up to. And so for them to see that, hey, this volunteer had a loss just like me, and he lived in an area surrounded by gangs, but he chose not to do that and went to college instead and is becoming a doctor. Well, maybe I could do that. Or this volunteer is a librarian. Hey, that's really cool. I could do that too. And so that's really why we continue to do camp, is because we see that we're changing these kids' lives.
So camp is June the 6th through 8th in 2025. If you know a child that possibly needs our help, or you'd like to volunteer, or know somebody who'd like to volunteer, please just let us know. Oh, sorry. One time a year, and you can't repeat. So once a child has come, we're teaching them coping skills, and it's the same coping skills the next year. So we try to reach as many children as possible. Just because of how much it takes to process a child, the cutoff is about a month before camp. So yeah. Okay. Thank you
So much for taking the time. Big round of applause. Woo. Thank you so much for sharing about those specific opportunities that we have here at Community Hospice. And I have a special place in my heart for Camp Wakini. One of my really good friends lost her husband and has 3 small children, and her 2 twins, who were 7 at the time, got to go to your camp. And you helped change their lives for the better in just huge positive ways. So it really, you guys are making a difference. Thank you. Thank you for your time and all you guys do. Oh, we want to make sure. Oh, thank you. They're already here. Anna's trying to help me, but we already got our stuff. We want to take a moment to do our drawings. So if you didn't get your business card, you can bring it up here. We want to thank Community Hospice for these beautiful arrangements that they have for us to be able to share with you guys. We will. Yaritza from Global Health Services. Oh, yay. We got a beautiful arrangement. It'll go perfect with your dress. Looks lovely. Oh, and a nice butterfly there. All right. We've got a pretty yellow one here as well. Allison Waddell. We have got a lucky table over here. You are so welcome. Thank you. And we have got a gift bag here for our last one. Draw one down from the bottom. Oh, Karen Lastly. Congratulations. Thank you guys so much for coming today. We really appreciate your time and support. And just a reminder, to join us again, September 12th. Don't forget your flyers. We are so grateful. We're going to have Tammy, who's going to be here, and she's going to be sharing with us about Parkinson's disease, some personal stories, and just help educate us on the impact that this disease is having, those things that we can do. So please mark your calendars. That's going to be Thursday, the second Thursday of the month, September 12th. Doors will open at 9:30, and the presentation will start at 10 o'clock. Thank you guys so much.